Today we will be learning how to do the braided puff stitch. We will start with row 1. You will chain 2 and you will double crochet in that same first stitch. You will now skip the next stitch and work into the next stitch, making a double crochet. You will now be working in your skip stitch. So you will be making a puff stitch. So you're going to yarn over, insert your hook into that skip stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over again, insert your hook into that same stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook into the stitch again, yarn over, pull up a loop. You're going to yarn over and pull through all loops except for the last loop. Now yarn over your hook and pull through the last 2 loops. And now you have made your first braided puff stitch. You are now going to yarn over, skip the next unworked stitch, and work into the next stitch and make a double crochet. Now yarn over and insert your hook into that skipped stitch. Yarn over your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, insert your hook again, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through all loops except for your last loop, yarn over, pull through the last 2 loops. Again, you will skip your next unworked stitch and make a double crochet in the next stitch. And you will make a puff stitch in that skip stitch. And now you will repeat this all the way across, ending in your second to last stitch. Once you have finished with your last braided puff stitch set, you will then make a double crochet in that last stitch. And you are done with row 1. For row 2, you're going to chain 2 again and turn your work. You're going to double crochet in that same first stitch. You are now going to be working in the spaces in between your braided puff stitch sets. As you can see, there's spaces. So in the first space in between the first and second braided puff stitch, you're going to make a double crochet. Now you're going to make a puff stitch in between your first puff stitch set and your last double crochet stitch. Now you're going to skip the space that you made your double crochet stitch in between the first and second braided puff stitches, and you're going to work in the next space in between the second and third braided puff stitch sets and make a double crochet. Now you're going to be working back into that original space in between your first and second braided puff stitch sets where the first double crochet was, and you're going to make a puff stitch right there. You will essentially be making an X or a crisscross over each side of each braided puff stitch set. You will now skip the space that was already worked by the double crochet stitch, and you will work into the next unworked space and make a double crochet. You will now make a puff stitch in that space that you skipped where your double crochet from the last set was worked. And you will repeat this all the way across, ending in your second to last puff stitch space. Once you have done with your last space, you will make a double crochet in between your last puff stitch set and your double crochet stitch at the end. You will now make a puff stitch in between those last two puff stitch sets. And now you will make a double crochet in that last double crochet stitch. You are now done with row 2. You can repeat rows 1 and 2 as many times as you needed to get the desired look that you were looking for. I hope you enjoyed and have a wonderful day.